Stage lights cold as a winter rain. One breath, one prayer, then the world went strange. Crowd froze up when the thunder cracked. Truth on a mic and a life attacked. He talked about hope in a storming land. Bible in the heart and a promise in his hands. But a shadow reached from a coward's perch, cut down a son in the middle of church. And I swear if the tables turned the other way, y'all know there'd be fires in the streets today. But here we stand with candles and a folded flag, begging God for mercy on the road we drag. How dare they steal the breath from a faithful man? How dare they stain the grass where his boots once stand? They call us evil, point at our cross, then pull that trigger and reckon no cost. If it were theirs, there'd be sirens and flames, but we're praying for truth while we whisper his name. Charlie, we ain't letting go of your hand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, Erie County. Here we are live, downtown Harbor Creek. It's kind of a weird day today. Man, it was like sunny, and then it rained, and then it got cold. And man, I tell you what, that's fine. It's like God reaches over and flicks a light switch. When it says, okay, it's summer, now it's fall. And literally, it's just summer and fall. So, I mean, I get that, and that's fine. That's what makes it really lovely about where we live. We get all the seasons, When I got out of the military, I lived in California. It was hot, and then it wasn't. So, I mean, I totally get it, and we really appreciate that. But here in a couple minutes, we'll do our warm up here, and then we have our a special guest, Caleb Landis with Early Vote Action. I see him; he's sitting in the green room right now. Well, it's not really a green room; it's just off camera in the sidelines, but that's okay. We got a lot of things to talk about. We're gonna talk about some local politics right out the gate, because you know what, this is really getting down to the wire, where we have to get this done right. And I know I'm hoping Caleb has some really good numbers for us. I know that Turning Point USA has been posting good numbers. I know Scott Pressler and the gang have been posting really good numbers. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing how well as a party we have done. We have gone from here in Erie County to thumbs up, and we appreciate that because I think people are really tired of this left crap that they're really playing with, and I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not America. I've said this once. I've said it 1,000 times. It's not a red thing. It's not a blue thing. It's a red, white, and blue thing. We are Americans. We are America. We are not just them and us, but unfortunately the people that are the puppet masters appear to really want that to happen. They want us to be us and them. Basic military tactic. How do you win a war? Divide and conquer. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're dividing us so they can conquer us. However, with the amount of violence that's going on, that's being escalated, we had, of course, Charlie Kirk. We have some just amazing videos. There's so many videos out there. We had to go through hours and hours and hours just to grab the right video that says that message in just a couple of minutes. Because we could do hours and hours and hours of videos from his funeral. I mean, it was just amazing. And we played his wife's farewell statement. I don't know if my roof needs replaced, but I was getting a little bit of water in, listening to her. I made sure I didn't listen to it. I saw bits and pieces of it. I wanted to see it on the show live. And that's what we really do, is a live show. I mean, we do use recorded parts, but our guests come on live. I'm live, and of course, you can come back and watch it on all 8 of our channels. And we're getting bigger and bigger every day. Every day, we're handing out business cards. Every day, I have people contacting me saying, "Hey, what do I do to get on the show? Hey, I want to. I have a small business. I know you don't charge to promote small local businesses. I don't, because if you're homegrown, if you're right here in Erie County, and you got a small business, you want us to promote on the show, I'll throw an ad up. I don't care, because you know what? We're not here for the money. We are here for the message. And the message is us, Erie County, Harbor Creek. We've got some great news coming from Brenton Davis. We got a little bit of a long video from him, but I tell you what, it's worth the wait, because it changes Erie County, and it changes East County, which of course I'm part of. And being a member of a volunteer fire department, the more ambulances we have on the road, the more EMTs and paramedics we have on the road, the safer our community is. And I tell you, buying another ambulance is important. The township supervisor, Dean Pepasolo, Tim May, and Steve Oler, they have done a great job. They created this model all by themselves, and created this nice entity of having our own EMTs, emergency medical technicians, and then paramedics for ALS, advanced life support. I know when there's all this jargon and stuff, and I try not to do the jargon talk with you guys. I don't. Dave, I did see that. I drove by it today. I saw the Kim Hunter sign was still there. I was actually amazingly and impressed. So yeah, I think Brenda, I see you got him. So go ahead and let's bring him in. There you are. How you doing, sir? Can you hear us okay? Can you hear us okay out in the internet world, sir?
Brian, I don't know if you can hear me, but I cannot hear you.
Oh no, I can hear you perfectly. But that's tough to have a
See
conversation.
what I can do on my end.
Yeah, we'll just jump back out of the room, come back in, we'll reconnect the link, and we'll try that. All right. Yeah, the internet's an amazing thing. If not, just call in and we'll just do the call thingy. So yeah, just go out of the, come back,
No,
jump out.
I don't hear you, so I'm gonna see if I can change some settings here.
Oh, that's all right. Hey, that's the nice thing about live radio, man. And the internet, you just don't know. If all else fails, you can call me. If all else
No,
fails.
I'm afraid not, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Can't hear you.
Take off. It says take off, do not disturb. Let's see here. I hear you.
A couple of things that I've tried here, no luck so far.
Okay. Then here, we'll do something like you call me. We'll do it. We'll just do a call. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is your earbuds working? I know that this. Oh, whoop. Put that link back in there. Bring it back. Can you hear us now, sir? I hear you. I hear you. Can you hear us? I am talking. Check 1, 2, 3. Check, 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 check 1, 2.
Well, can I
Sorry.
call in on my phone?
Yes. Yes. Thumbs up. Just
I
call.
can. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, maybe if you could text me the number, because I still don't have any audio.
Okay. That's trouble with live stuff. We had this all up and running, but boy, I tell you what, you get to get it going. And let's see.
Hello, Brian.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Well, you know what? When all else fails, it's always have when you drive your car, you have a spare tire. We do a live feed. If
Absolutely.
we can't do the live feed, we just do the phone call. So let me change gears here just a second. I'm gonna put your picture up so everybody can see your wonderful smiling face. I know who you are. You and I, we had the pleasure of meeting a couple years ago when we were
Yes.
working the Doug Mastriano campaign. Matter of
Yes.
fact, that's how I literally had to change your phone ID because it said Mastriano campaign. So now it says,
Mm-hmm.
now it's changed.
Yep,
So,
I remember that. It was a parade somewhere. I don't
yes,
remember where, but
I
yep.
know. Yeah. So tell us who you are. You don't have to go in the shoe sizes and stuff like that, but just who are you, where you been, and how have you gotten to where you are today?
Well, my name is Caleb Landis. I am the Erie County Coordinator for Early Vote Action. It was a very long and roundabout route to get here. Always been very politically minded, but never saw it as something that would become a career, much less the passion and focus of my life that it is today. But I like to say that, if some people call me radicalized, and if I was radicalized, it was because of the radical left. What happened during the Joe Biden administration scared the daylights out of me. I saw people being censored online. I saw the COVID lockdowns, and I saw this manic drive from political figures on the left to seize and hang on to power. And it looked like they were going to hang on to it permanently if they could. And then the lawfare started, and I knew I knew I had to do something. So I had been following Scott Pressler, the founder and director of Early Vote Action, been following him on X for a while. And as the situation got worse in our country, I just kind of jumped in. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just started volunteering as best as I could, just copying Scott, frankly, to the best of my ability, because my kids live here, Brian, and my neighbors live here. And I know that my family and my neighbors are going to the American left succeeds in seizing the power that they were talking about and obviously salivating over. So I just started trying to register people. Some success. I started to figure some things out, and then the Pennsylvania director of Early Vote Action at the time called me and asked me if I wanted to get paid for it. So I went from a volunteer to a part-time employee to a full-time role as the Erie County coordinator that I'm in today.
I know. I mean, those are pretty big shoes. I mean, literally, when you're trying to follow in Scott Pressler's big cowboy boots. I mean, I know you're a tall guy, but I've never met a guy really as tall as Scott Pressler and his great hair. I've had the pleasure of doing several.
He has better hair, but I have a better beard.
Okay, that's a fair argument. I like that. I do. But I mean, the guy who's just motivated. I mean,
unbelievable.
I
Yes.
saw him on the first time I ever saw him was on a video where I think he was in New York City, standing on a street corner, yelling at people. I'm like,
yes,
who is this guy? And I'm like, all right.
That was his
Yes.
That was his big break. He
Yes.
was. There were a couple of them like that, but one of them went viral on YouTube. I think it was the trash cleanup in Baltimore, and he was just there picking up trash, and liberal people on the street started heckling him for picking up trash, having known who he was as a conservative. And his rebuttal about how Democrats cared so much more for illegal aliens than the people struggling on the street in Baltimore. It just, the passion and the intensity, but also the grace and the confidence with which he communicates and the enthusiasm and the belief that he has just showed through so clearly on that in that footage, and it just exploded. It went viral, and the rest is history with him.
Yeah, that's how I started.
And the present, thankfully.
Yeah, and that's how I met him. I didn't meet him, but I saw him. I'm like, who is this tall guy with cowboy boots and shorts and really long hair? I'm like, all right, this guy's got a good mission. So I started digging around. I'm like, all right, he really was just kind of on the uptick of what he does. And then, we had him come to Erie. I met him, and he's very inspirational.
Mhm.
He was just in Erie this summer. And I was so excited about him coming to Albion, but I know he's such a busy guy. And but that's okay. We had you, and I'm sorry, you had a wingman. You had what was your wingman's name at Albion? I forgot his name.
That was Joe.
No.
Joe is I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce his last name. But
I don't feel bad now.
He was a rock star, and
yes.
that's the amazing thing about Early Vote Action, and I want to believe the amazing thing about Republican involvement and activism in general, and that is we really are much more diverse and welcoming and accepting as the MAGA movement than Democrats are. So you have all kinds of people in the Republican movement and in Early Vote Action from all different walks of life. And you give them the freedom to try things and to be good at what they are good at, rather than trying to force them to become good at what you want them to be good at, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
And we just unleash people with passion. And you saw exactly what Joe's passions were there at the Albion Fair. And I'd like to believe that people all over Erie County and other places in northwestern Pennsylvania have seen what my passions are, as I've been everywhere registering voters and getting out the no to retention information, because that's who we are. That's what we want as Early Vote Action and as Republican activists in general. We just unleash the passions that you have for America, for our future, for our kids, for law enforcement. And each individual has an opportunity to express that with the skills and passions that God gave them. And it's just a beautiful thing, and it works.
And I agree with you, and we were at the Albion Fair for a couple hours, and,
Right.
we had got there early after the parade. You showed up, but by God, we were standing there handing out brochures, vote no, here's the registration. Kim had people sitting on the bench filling out the applications.
She's good. She's good at that.
She works a room like no one I've ever met before, really. And you can't tell her no. You know how Italian women are. You can't tell them no. But it was funny. I would turn myself and I was watching the Democrat tent little area. I mean, we were killing them 50-1. I mean, sitting there engaging people 50-1.
Easy.
and the county executive, Brenton Davis, knows
Yep.
that he needs to put the boots on the ground. He needs to go skin to skin, palm shaking, and then talking
Yes.
to the people. And he was there for hours.
Yes,
And
and
that's why he's
I
gonna win.
can attest to that. I mean,
Yes.
Brenton has showed up this fair season. Executive Davis, sorry,
That's all
has
right.
showed up this fair season and has put in work. I as you know, as the high him in his office, the highest elected official in the county. I mean, that's not something that conventional wisdom tells him he has to do as an incumbent. But I truly believe he does that because he has a focus on individual needs throughout our county. Like I truly believe that. I see that sincerity in him. And he did. He absolutely put in the work. And you see that engagement at the Republican table. But it's Republicans are motivated by positive forces. We're motivated by, many of us, by our faith in God and in Jesus. And we're motivated by love and wanting to build people and our country up. The Democrat apparatus is motivated by one thing and one thing only: hate.
Oh, absolutely.
Usually hate for Donald Trump, and broadly hate for the United States as we want it to be and as we believe it is best for the country. So that's a very depressing world in which to exist, and it is not drawing people because
No.
it's dark, it's repulsive, and it's very exclusionary. And the differences between the booth at a lot of these fairs illustrates it very, very clearly.
Oh, absolutely. The Coons are out there. They were, they're getting a little elderly. I know Mr. Coon doesn't get around as good, but my God, he was like the captain of the ship, sitting there with pamphlets. And I'm like, how many flags you got? I got boxes. Give me them. And I just, if you're not a Democrat, if you're a Democrat and you want a flag, I don't care. You're still American. So it was a fun
Right.
time. We, we,
Yep.
we personally got, I know Kim, she nailed down at least, I don't know, a dozen ballots while I was there, and then
Right.
she's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, we're not spring chickens anymore," and that's why it's nice to see young guys like you, kind of grabbing the reins and helping us out. Because, like, hey,
Yes,
man,
sir.
a couple more years, I'm going to be in the scooter from the scooter store. So it's nice to see young people. That's why I'm getting my position situated here with my microphone. It's like I don't get out and get like I used to, but at least I can talk and then irritate the Democrats. So let's do some
Oh,
now.
there's your skill and passion, Brian. Irritating Democrats.
I listen. I wore a Mirsky shirt while I was turning in some ballots the other day at the courthouse. I took a selfie
Uh
out front.
huh.
You would have sworn I stole some Republicans' candy. I mean, they were mad. They're like, "Well, I can't believe you had that shirt on." I said, "She's a Democrat." I said, "Well, the other gentleman that is running is also a Democrat, but he got the Republican nominee. Well, he's a Democrat." I said, "Boys and girls, quick lesson. They cross file." Okay.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's frustrating.
yeah, I made people,
Yeah.
I made a couple people angry, and that's fine. No one threatened me, or no one didn't shoot my Hummer. So I'm happy. And
Hey, I mean, that's a valid point. I mean, I'm serious. My eyes have been opened to how much disagreement there actually is in the MAGA movement. I mean, you know that, but when you get on X and you work as a Republican activist, you you see it firsthand. But we're not shooting each other,
no,
and it's terrible that we have to have this conversation. But we are literally at the point in this country and in this community where one political spectrum can disagree and debate and discuss, and the other one can't. And now the American left is becoming increasingly violent. And we're seeing shifts. I mean, we're down to 53,847 active voter lead in registrations for Democrats. That's the smallest in modern history. In Erie County, it's 5,673 more actively registered Democrats than Republicans in Erie County. And this is because of many things, but not the least of which is the hate that I keep coming back to. The violence and the extremism on the left no longer represents many Democrat voters. And that's why we're seeing the shifts that we're seeing.
right. And I know Charlie Kirk would not want to hear me say this, but we're going to make a positive from his passing. We really are, and look at the
Yes.
movement. We are Charlie. I mean, it's huge,
Yeah.
and
We're honoring his memory. Absolutely.
and look at the number of chapters have opened up under, Turning Point USA. I mean, because people realize violence is not the American way. It's not. It,
Right.
it really isn't. I mean, our history is kind of laced in a lot of violence and Civil War and the Revolutionary War. We get that, but that was fought so we could be free. And
Right.
we
Right.
don't need to do that anymore. And and it's so
It's something I used to tell my social studies students that the American story is a process. There's a lot of imperfect people, obviously, and there's a lot of mistakes, but it is a story of progress. It's a story of growth. It's right there in our founding documents, trying to find a more perfect union. Our union isn't perfect, and it never has been, but we're growing, and we've grown to an exceptional point, and I don't want to see us lose that. I don't want to see us devolve into political violence that has been like a hallmark of humanity throughout, like, all of time. I mean, it started with Cain and Abel, and it hasn't stopped, but America has been the exception to so many things, and peaceful political discourse, peaceful transition of power, all that good stuff that we used to take for granted, we can't take for granted anymore. And I don't, that's not a future that I'm willing to accept for myself or my family or my neighbors. So I plan on doing everything that I can to keep it peaceful and patriotic, as the often maligned line from President Trump went. But that's really what we're fighting for peacefully here in America and in Erie County right now.
I know, and Stacey Garrity was here the other day, and I had the
Yes,
pleasure and privilege of doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And I tell you what,
yes.
I sit up here and I talk for hours. I was on county council. I don't have a problem talking. I was standing behind the stage waiting to give my cue to go on. I didn't know
Hmm.
what I was going to say. Now I could have just walked out there and say, "Everybody stand, put your hand over your heart," but I didn't want to do
Right.
that. I didn't know what to say, and I was shocked because I was like, but," and then I just, I don't know if Charlie was watching and he told me what to say, and I had my freedom shirt on, so I think he was paying
Hmm.
attention, and I just said, "We have to think about what Charlie would do, and when I say these words today and we say them,
Hmm.
let's think about each and every word because those
Yep.
words are there for a reason. They're just not some random thing that we decided to put together and say, okay, that's our pledge. Every word
Right.
has a meaning." And my wife goes, when you said God, you pointed up. I said, I did? She goes, yes, you did. I'm like,
You
okay, I'm
did.
glad I got that
You
right.
did. You did.
Uh, so I was like, whoo, man, thanks, Charlie, for helping me put that finger in the right place because it could have gone the wrong way and I've been in a lot of trouble. But yeah, so let's talk about now. Let's talk about some numbers. I know we kind of kicked them around a little bit. What do you
Yes.
see? What's the big shift? You have that kind of data that says where was our biggest shift? The city or the county, East County, West County.
Right.
What do you got?
So the thing that stands out to me most as far as the data in Erie County is how consistent it is. I mean, it's almost been uninterrupted since I've started following the data. I don't know if there's been mm, I honestly can't think of any weeks sitting here right now since I've been following it on a weekly basis where Erie County has not shifted to the right.
Good.
Now,
I mean,
now
that's
quite
good.
often, quite often those numbers have been smaller than I want them. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
Some weeks it's 20, some weeks it's 30. But the other weeks it's more. And when is that consistent? You know what it tells me? It tells me that this is an organic movement in Erie County. And what I mean by that is people are making this decision on their own. Because I see the numbers, I see what I've done, and I see what others have done, and then I see the numbers that are accumulating countywide, and I know it's not all coming from people who have been directly interacted with by a Republican activist. I know it's not, because I know where a lot of the activism is and when the big times are and when the big times aren't. there is something happening organically. There is something happening. People are seeing it for themselves in Erie County, and it is steady. It's not always dramatic, but it is steady. It is consistent, which tells me we have an incredible opportunity right now. You talk about low hanging fruit in politics a lot. Erie County is low hanging fruit for Republicans. Or I'm sorry, outside of the city, absolutely. But inside of the city as well, there are Republican candidates. There's a full slate of Republican candidates in Erie County, from city council to mayor to city controller. Every empty position has a Republican candidate running. That in of itself is a victory. And then they're working, a lot of those candidates are working on the streets in the city of Erie, in the, the hood, the traditional blue area. I've worked with them side by side, and I've seen them flip people to Republican registrations who, if I didn't see it for myself, I wouldn't hardly believe it. I wouldn't think that that demographic or that population would be interested in becoming a Republican, because traditionally they haven't been Republican. But they're seeing what's happening on their own. I don't know if it's because the mainstream media is losing so much influence and alternative media is becoming so much more a part of people's lives. I think that's helping. I know Donald Trump is popular all over the county. That's part of the reason why this is happening, but it's partially because we have a great slate of activists and candidates all over the city and county right now, that so many people are steadily becoming Republicans. But it's also happening because people are making up their minds on their own. And boy, what an exciting time to be a Republican in Erie County.
It really is, because I mean, you're a smart guy. You know the numbers. When Trump lost, he lost Erie County, and when Trump
Right.
won, he won Erie County. So
Yeah, that went 3 for 3. Erie
Right.
County, Pennsylvania, and the White House all went in the same direction. All 3 Trump elections. Yep.
and you can't argue the numbers. Now, do you see any numbers from the state where, say, the online numbers, people registering online? I know they watch all the data. Is that something you see also? The online registrations.
I don't have the splits in front of me.
Okay,
I do know that I was surprised how many people wait to do it in paper in person.
Yeah, I see that.
I was surprised. I figured that the online registration would be a bigger percentage than it is. When I first got into the work, it was like, how many people am I really going to be able to find who want to register to vote who haven't already? Well, a lot of people want to register to vote, but they want someone to help them. I guess it's just, this is a wordy looking form, or I just haven't sat down and taken the time to do it yet. But all that takes is that little suggestion for me. Sometimes just my sign sitting there about registering to vote. People will come right to me like, oh yes, I've been wanting to do this. Help me do this. That's what I mean by low hanging fruit.
Right.
But a lot of it, I was surprised how often people prefer to register online. Register on paper and then just hand you the form and let you, I guess, as they're thinking as the professional, to handle it.
Well, that's what I did. I was doing the other day when I went downtown.
Yep.
I was literally physically walking down ballot registrations, and these were brand new stores. So talk about a really valuable transport. When I went downtown, is like, man,
absolutely.
This is.
I think that's especially key in the city, to show up in their neighborhoods. I think, because that's just something that Democrats and politicians in general just traditionally don't want to do.
I'll
take just that little bit of an olive branch, to show up where they are is enough to earn you a hearing many times.
And I totally agree with you. And I'll take the trailer downtown. I'll go down to the park and put my, it's funny because I have a truck and a trailer, so I have to I have to feed 2 meters, but it's a good investment because people like, I have a big sign, register here. Well, what can you do? I said, we have some pre-made bags. You can take this bag home. It's got an application in there, or I've got a clipboard. I can sit here and help you do it. And I think that's where the key is, we sit right on the trailer, take out a pen. Kim Hunter put these little pre-made bags up, and she's got candy in them. She's got business cards. I was like, oh man, marketing 101, give them something for free. and that we got it. And that's how I literally walked. I said, I will walk this across the street for you because I need the exercise. So and that's what we're doing. And I think that's
That's
what
awesome.
that's where the whole essence of the show is: boots on the ground. It's an old
Yes.
military term. I'm an Army veteran, but it is so applicable to every scenario. And I say we, I don't mean you and me and Kim and everybody. I'm talking everybody that comes on this show, the thousands of people that
Right.
watch this show. We put boots on the ground and getting this done. So yeah, I mean, and that's why we do the show. I'm not in it for money. This thing costs me
Yep.
money, and that's fine. We've got some great sponsors that put a little cash into the bin. I had some nice
There you
folks,
go. Yes.
that helped with some of the equipment. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. We appreciate that
Yep.
because this is the only real, unfiltered, uncommercialized voice in Erie County. It's 8:33. If I was a radio station, we would have been on already 6 minutes of break time, and we're not doing that.
Right.
We need to
Right.
talk. We got to get this fixed. So, if
Right.
somebody wants some more information about you and what you do, where can I send them?
So I'm on Facebook. You can search my name, Caleb Landis, Landis. You can find me there. Contact me there. I'm on X. Same thing, Caleb Landis. You just got to add the number 8 to it. You can also go to earlyvoteaction.com, but it's a lot easier to find me on my social on X or Facebook. You can just search my name, Caleb Landis.
And then basically, I don't know if you can see the show or not, but at the bottom of the screen, my wonderful wife / producer we have a scrolling marquee and it has your name and it's properly spelled. So there you go.
Yes, sounds good.
She's the brains, I'm the brawn. I fix stuff and I talk. So she's the one that does all the clicky click stuff. But yeah, I want to say thank you for your time. I know you're a busy guy. I know you're a family guy. It's 8:30. You got to put kids to bed and all that good stuff. But thank you for coming. Like I said, I know, when is the last day to officially register to vote? You got that off the top of your head?
Yep, October 20th.
There you go, man.
October 20th is the last day to register to vote. But if you are already registered to vote, you can request a early ballot all the way up until October 28th. So please consider requesting a mail-in ballot. You don't have to vote by mail. You can deliver it to the county courthouse in person, just as a backup. And don't forget to vote no to retention for the Supreme Court justices, Donahue, Doherty, and Wecht. Those are 3 Democrat Supreme Court justices whose party will not appear on the ballot. So flip your ballot over, find Donahue, Doherty, and Wecht, and vote no to those Pennsylvania Supreme Court judges. You remember what 2020 was like. Well, here's our chance to be accountable.
Right.
And thank you, Brian, so much for having me on. I appreciate what you're doing on the ground. I appreciate what you're doing on this podcast. This is the beauty of America to me. It's just ordinary Americans doing what they can, having their say in who is going to lead them. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I've been actually putting posters across the screen because who wants to look at me? I put the posters up, say no in November, and I'll put your picture up in front of your tent, and they get tired of looking at my face, so I put posters up. Brenda
just
says
stick to the no to retention graphic,
right?
Brian. You don't need my face either.
Yeah, but we want to show that there is a person behind this voice. But yeah, all right, sir. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're a friend of the show. Call in anytime. Jump in the room, the chat room. We got the sheriff candidate. He's in the room saying thank you for everything you're doing. A lot of people are putting a lot of good.
Well, let's get Jeremy elected. Jeremy Markham for sheriff, Brenton Davis, county executive, and Nathan Ribner, friend of mine, for clerk of records too. An amazing slate of candidates in the local races this year.
Nate's an interesting character. Ask him a number question.
Oh, he's so much fun.
It's a 20-minute answer. It's a 20-minute answer. Well, Brian, you don't understand. This is a really complicated equation. No, man, just yes or no.
He is perfect for that job. He is born for that job.
He's a number. It's fine.
It's again a beautiful thing.
It's not a bad thing. But all right, sir. Thank you. We appreciate your time, and you have a good night.
You too, Brian. Thank you so much.
See ya. There we go. There he is. Caleb, the man, the legend. We're here locally making magic, one application at a time. Early vote action with Scott Pressler. Great time. I've tried to get him on the show, but he has just been so busy. all summer long. He's like, okay, the fairs are done. I have some time. So he's literally been on the calendar for over a month to get him in here. So we got you. So yeah, I was watching your comments. Man, thank you guys. We appreciate that. Hi, Kim, you're live.
What a great interview from our rock star Caleb.
I know, and he's tall. What is with these rocks? They're all tall. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know, you were just with me and Brenda and Stacy and Maria, four of the shortest women in the world. So I mean,
Yeah,
everybody's tall compared to us.
Yeah, I know. I literally just put the group picture of Maria, myself, JD, and then Stacy and you. It's like I'm actually tallest one in the group. All right.
All right. I know. And speaking of Turning Point, I was just watching on TV that wonderful governor, Youngkin in Virginia. They are donating $100,000 to Turning Point to put in to start Turning Point action groups in the state of Virginia.
Good.
Because it's in such high demand right now.
Yeah.
So I just think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. These young people are not only getting involved in politics, but they're turning back to God. It's just great. I just absolutely love it.
Oh, I totally agree with you. And, I see that you have figured out CapCut on your Facebook page. I see that. I taught you well, little Padawan.
Thank you for teaching me. You still have to teach me the three little dots, but I'm getting there, what they say.
Yeah.
I'm not always the brightest crayon in the box, but I go to people to teach me. So that, I guess that makes me a little bit smart.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, we're just, more boots in the ground, get out, door knock. We're getting these registered. We have a huge event tomorrow.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. I
know it'll be at the I always get it backwards. Is it Erie Discount Beer? Yeah,
Erie Discount Beer
right.
on Buffalo Road, guys.
Right. Because there's another one. It's similar, but the name's a little different. We'll be there from 3 to 6. We'll have chips and here I'll put Gwen. Crafty Cakes. I got her ad up on the screen right now. She'll be homemade cookies. Jeff and the owners of the beer distributor there have donated some non-alcoholic drinks. Can't give alcohol away in the state, but some non-alcoholic drinks, chips, and all some snacks. Come on over. If you need to change your voter registration, we'll have the paper ones, or we'll bring a tablet, and you can do it online right now, because you got to be careful. We're running out of time, and I'm not picking on the post office, but let's not entrust our country's future in the post office, because it happens.
Right.
But if you fill one out, I will personally deliver. I personally delivered one the other day because it was just one. But I don't want to sit on them. I get them. I go downtown. I have your sign. I multitask, hand out business cards, and get people registered to vote. So that's
right.
my.
And
my
speaking
thing.
of signs, I will have yard signs there. If you miss me, you can get a hold of Tim Kuzma or Brian. We'll make sure you get a yard sign. We are getting ready to put in another order for some more yard signs. And Caleb and you would be so proud of me, because I was just sitting here with my vote no to retention flyers and my business cards, and I'm stapling them together. And, on the other side, it does say vote yes to these judges. So we got to get Maria Batista, our good friend, and Matt Wolford in there, because he's actually from Erie. So, it'll be real simple, guys. When you go to vote on that, just remember to vote red, and you'll automatically be voting no to those other judges.
Oh, I totally agree with you. That's like, it's real simple. I love the catchy little thing. Just vote no in November. I flashed it up a couple of times. There
oh
it
my
is.
goodness.
Put
You
no
and your hashtags. Too many.
But they all work.
They all work. They all apply. Democrats are making it so easy for us this election.
Just like Mr. Kennedy says, just let them talk.
Right. And I know that our great county executive, Bretton Davis, he will be setting up a date for us to go door knocking in the city. So we'll get that to you. Another reminder, if you guys are interested in going to the Republican dinner, that will be on October 4th, but you need to sign up by October 1st. And you can do that just by going straight to the ECRC website, or just give Miss Rose Kuhn a little email or somebody, and they will tell you how to get signed up for that. That'll be a really big event, and I know that Congressman Mike Kelly, he is confirmed to be there. I know they were working on Senator Dave McCormick. I'm not sure if they got a confirmation on that one yet or not.
Yeah, it's always a good time. You get to meet the actual politicians, the folks that are on TV, on the internet. You can actually walk up and talk to them. They're very actually nice people to talk to, not like what the haters say about Mike Kelly. That's fine. All they're doing is they're just playing the negative Nelly because they want to take him out next election cycle. And of course, the rumor I have heard, and please, everybody, please sit down. Everybody sit down, put your drinks down. If you're smoking, put the cigarette down, because you're gonna go into shock. The rumor in the mill is Ryan Bizzarro is gonna challenge Mike Kelly. I'm like, come on, Ryan, stop it! You got your ass kicked by a girl.
A little girl, a 5'4" girl.
Yeah, Mr.
Well, he's not much taller.
Well, I don't know. Ryan's actually pretty tall. He really is. He's real tall and skinny because probably doesn't eat. But little Stacey Garrity, man. I mean, here, I'll put the picture up. That there's Stacey Garrity next to Kim. So I think she's just a snitch taller than you because her hair is just a snitch higher than yours. But I like hanging around you guys.
Aquanet and I didn't.
Yeah, I love hanging around you guys. I'm the tallest guy in the mix. Maria is like the shortest little person there, but she's a pistol. But yeah, right. The rumor is Ryan Bizzarro is actually going to run against Mike Kelly because he needs to find a bigger, fancier job. He's going to get his
that'll be a wash, just like Drexel running against Bob Murphy.
Oh,
that will be hilarious.
I know. I mean, a good person, good Democrat told me that. I said I won't kiss and tell. I swear to God, I never talk about our conversations because they're honest. I got it from the other sources of information. Like, Brian, did you hear? Dexter is actually running. He wants to run for state rep. Well, go figure. I mean, he's been on county council 2 years. He doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything, votes against things that come out to Harbor Creek that help us better. So he thinks he's going to go down to the state and sit there like a bump on a log.
I still cannot believe that he voted no against Deontay Cooley today.
Oh, we got that video.
One vote. Oh my Lord. I couldn't believe that. But I will give this. Oh, and another thing, guys and girls, if you show up tomorrow, Brian and I acquired the brand new Stacey Garrity for Governor signs you can put in your window.
Posters.
And these are the first batch. So if you want in on them, I suggest you come down tomorrow because they're fabulous.
And if you're really, really nice, I'll bring out my name tag, my volunteer tag from the event the other day. And I'll let you look at Stacey's signature. She autographed it for me. Boom.
Yes. Well, Glenn will be there, and she got an autographed one too. And hers says help is on the way.
Yeah, but it was her
and this
birthday.
is a great thing for Stacey because Stacey has a tried and true record. And even though she didn't run on Help is on the Way before, she helped so many veterans and their families acquire their medals that they never thought they'd get back. And that shows you something about this woman.
And it was she returned over $1 billion in assets to the folks of Pennsylvania that the previous administration just sat on our dollars and monies and medals that belong to people of the Commonwealth. And she tracked them, well, her and her staff tracked down these people and returned this money to these people. So, I love her tagline, help us on the way, and of course, Josh, what is Joshy doing? He's just, he's flying away in airplanes.
He's on vacation on his airplane. And this is another thing, folks, on an airplane that he bought when he was in negotiations with the state police, took their money to buy himself a plane that has a flag of Mexico on it.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And he's flying around the country, getting money together to run for president. He doesn't give two shits about the people of Pennsylvania. He was the attorney general under the Wolf regime that kept us locked down and arrested nuns for having church. But you people voted for this clown.
Right. And let's go a step further. I've seen where our great Senator Dan Laughlin is keeping people in the loop being as transparent as he possibly can, because that's what he promised. And people are saying, pass the budget, Dan, pass the budget. Well, folks, he cannot possibly pass a budget when our governor takes off on vacation, but yet our governor passed money to pay for an ATV trail that happens to go across his property.
Oh, gee,
So
let me put my shock
quit
face on.
yelling at Senator Laughlin when his hands are tied because your Democrat chosen governor decides to drop the ball on us.
Yeah. No, got it. Oh, yeah. Then, you figure, they're putting, people are commenting, signing bombs that were being sent over to kill people. Yeah, Josh, that's real. That's real, the part from the party of love and peace and joy. Yeah, let me sign the bombs that are going to go over and kill people.
And then you
good
wonder
job,
why
Josh.
and then you wonder where the assassins get the idea to sign their bullets. Well, maybe they took notes from the people in power.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I do got to get rolling. I mean,
yeah, I'm going to get going. But, and one last thing, guys, Tim Kuzma's putting on an event for kids for charity for Hammett Hospital this weekend at the Colony on Sunday. And that will be on both mine and Brenda's and Brian's Facebook. So if you want any more information on that, that's sure to be there. But I hope to see everybody tomorrow at Erie Beer. And with that, my prayers and blessings are with each and every one of you.
All right,
bye,
Kim.
Brian. Bye, Brenda.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Well, yeah, I mean, a question, some stuff coming, in the room. I know, Gwen, I got one with name on it. I know it was your birthday, so she got a special one, but that's okay. You're a great person and you're awesome. Yeah, like, let's see here. I see the videos up on Q. Let me set this one up. Dante Cooley, interesting character. He's been in news a lot about a lot of the Erie stuff. And he ran for city council, didn't win, didn't make it out of the primary. That's okay. That's the way it happens. So he got put up. His name was put up to be on a board, I think, for the housing development, the housing authority. And I was watching people sent it to me, but I was watching it anyway. And everybody voted for him except the Democrat Drexel. I don't even know why wouldn't I don't even understand. I can't even figure it out. I've asked all my political gurus, like, what was that about? I don't know. I said, first of all, I don't know why he would say no. It's a Democrat supporting a Democrat. So now the Democrats aren't supporting other Democrats. So it's kind of like dog eat dog in the city of Erie with their crazy politics, which told you that was going to happen. But, Drexel, it was a no-brainer. It's a slam dunk. I mean, all he had to do was just watch the votes and say everyone's going to go yes. I'm going to be the no vote. Gee, I would hate to say or imply that maybe he's a racist and didn't want the black guy to get the job, but that's just what people have texted me today, because he's the only no vote. I don't get it. I mean, the two Republicans voted for him, but the big, tall, goofy zombie guy wouldn't vote for him. I mean, I think he's stuck. I think it's like a broken record. He voted no for the EMS money to come out here to East County. Voted no on that. Voted no for this. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought Copenhagen was his handler and basically told him how to vote. So I don't know. Don't understand it. Brenda, you want to play that video? That's not my words. I'm not skewing them. Here they are. I don't get it. I mean, I really don't get it. I know he's not the sharpest tack in the box, and I get that. I mean, the guy, and I was funny. I won't go down that street, but it was just an issue of, it's a no-brainer. It's a non-paying job that does really nothing other than sits on board meetings and makes decisions this way or the other thing. They're appointed. They can be unappointed. If something goes wrong or he does something wrong or he gets somebody mad, they can be unappointed. It's no big deal. they don't get paid to do these jobs. They're basically a volunteer job. But Drexel must be like stuck. No, no, no. I don't know. Maybe his handlers didn't give him his instructions on this one, but I thought Copenhagen was his puppet master. But whatever, man. So Brenda, what do you got next? Brett and Dean. All right. Let's set this one up. This is again back to Drexel and County Council voting no for the money. For whatever reason, they voted no. There's a lot of mumble, grumble on why they didn't vote for no. Well, Breton said this, and County Council said that, and this one said this, and this one said that. So it came down, and they voted no. I mean, it was basically, went right down the party lines, which I was a little shocked, but hey, whatever. So this is Brenton out here in Harbor Creek Township dropping off a check so we in East County can better take care of us in East County, which isn't just Harbor Creek. They have a multi jurisdictional agreement with everybody in East County. Matter of fact, I belong to the volunteer fire department. We got a call. Again, we're taking calls in the city of Erie, which I don't agree with, but hey, it is what it is. They need an ambulance in Erie. We go, and we don't get paid like the emergent care people get paid to go to the city. But hey, I get it. So Brenda, you want to play that? Sorry, it's a couple minutes long, but it's just them bringing a check out in right here in Harbor Creek. So there you go, Brenda, please.
From Harbor Creek Township, I'm here with Harbor Creek Supervisor Dean Pepicello. We just presented a $150,000 check. There's a little controversy getting here in terms of kind of where the money was going to come. For the folks who have been following the story behind this municipality, East County EMS, and how we sent an allocation down to County Council. Unfortunately, they didn't see the need for this investment, so we had to pull this out of our public safety fund. And that's got very limited funds. That really what we do with that fund is to support, one, wage reimbursements for these folks that provide the services, to put paramedics and EMTs to help offset the cost of the municipalities. But we've also been able to put another 100 additional paramedics and EMTs in the seats of these ambulances to provide the service, because an ambulance without qualified staff and money to pay them is useless. So, I mean, really, Dean, we just want to talk about how important is, and I know you were a supervisor before I got elected. You saw really how bad the EMS crisis is or was, and you guys got together, created East County EMS, and we saw this as a model that was working. And we've been able to really do that to scale again in West County and hopefully again in South County. But I mean, you as a supervisor, I mean, you're charged with providing these emergency services. We're just merely a funding partner. I mean, where was the state of EMS as you saw it, and the catalyst behind why you guys chose to create East County?
Well, ultimately, it was to back up the volunteers. It's not a surprise to anyone. The volunteer numbers, they're tough to get these days. We've got a great 3 fire departments who are doing everything they can, but it was ultimately to back them up. Obviously, we're taking ALS calls. We wanted an ambulance close. So we worked with emergent care, but obviously they're committed to the city. There's a lot of those things. So we wanted skilled crews here close. So it's worked out. It's grown. When you call 911 in East County right now, it's like things that you've talked about. We're going to be there. A skilled crew that's close to you is going to be there.
And then some folks would say, well, Dean, you've got 1 ambulance. Well, why do you need 2? And we talk about this. It's a thing called mutual aid. Under the state law, even though you have this ambulance and you have it here in Harbor Creek, well, let's just say an ambulance isn't available, say, and this does now serve Northeast Borough, but let's just say Summit, say their ambulances are off providing service. Your ambulance goes all over the county to provide that life-saving service, and they have to under state law.
Yeah, and we can, and we want to have the ability to do that. Same thing here. If we're on calls, you're going to see mutual aid happen. It is working in this county, for sure.
And so when you talk about the costs, and folks would wonder, well, why is the county making investments in wage reimbursements and those things? Because you see things like Summit or East County, when you provide that service to a municipality, you're paying for this, but it goes somewhere else. So essentially you're paying the neighbor's credit card bill if they're not paying into these systems.
Yeah, but bottom line is someone needs to come. That's the key. And these regional systems are working now at this point. I think it's worked out fabulous, and we're getting there. And I think the entire community is safer. Here's another thing. I think Erie County is much more committed to EMS locally than a lot of other counties in Pennsylvania.
100%.
We're very grateful for that. What Ecker's done, what the county has done, goes a long way. Because as you know, this isn't exactly a profitable business.
No,
EMS.
it's a loss, you know, and that's why, I mean, it's not a money-making proposition. But and then you talk about the volunteers, and we got these folks that give years and years and years of their life and countless hours away from their families to train, to fundraise, and then these folks still have to work a career. So I mean, imagine, we're standing here in a mid-morning in a weekday, that all those volunteers, a lot of them got to make a living and build a life and go to their jobs. So I mean, having these folks at the ready really augments the system that exists and strengthens it to make sure that when somebody calls 911, we have an asset to dispatch.
And we're not replacing volunteers. We're not.
100%.
We're simply backing them up. We're here to support them, not replace them. It's very important to us.
Absolutely. So we just want to thank, I know Dean and I, from the bottom of our hearts, we want to thank our volunteers, our fire folks, our EMS folks, our police, our first responders, our telecommunicators, all these folks that make this robust system here in Erie County, as like Dean said, truly is getting to be a top-notch system compared to other counties that are really struggling. I mean, this isn't an Erie County problem. This isn't even a Pennsylvania problem. This is a national problem that folks are seeing. But I just want to thank our municipal partners and everybody involved for making this possible to fund these services and provide these life-saving services to our resident. So, as always, as your Erie County Executive, Brent Davis, let's get to work.
Well, there you go. Again, this was something was on Facebook. You won't see it on the news. I saw a little blurb. It was just a photograph. It wasn't actually an interview. It was a grip and grin picture of the ambulance and the EMTs and Dean and Breton standing there with a big check. Hey, that's fine. But let's talk about it. Let's have that conversation. And I know Dean and I, we talk about this all the time. Sometimes we agree 100% on what's going on. Sometimes we don't. But at the end of the day, we're still friends. And that's the way it's supposed to be. He's like, Brian, you're dead wrong on this one. I'm like, all right, well, maybe you are right, Dean, the guru of the Erie Airways, as Joe Natale always says. But that's okay. We end up being friends at the end of the day, and it's all good. But this is a win-win for Erie County. It's a win-win for East County because now we have more rubber on the roads. We got more EMTs. When you dial 911, someone's going to show because Erie's in trouble. The call volumes have gone up. The EMTs are struggling. Emergent care is struggling to keep the call volume that they acquire, and then they rely on the volunteers to go in, and we do it. But, we're not making $20, $30 an hour like the paramedics and the EMTs do. We get to do it for basically for free. That's the privilege of being a member of a volunteer fire department. So yeah, that's a win-win. I know that's been a little bit of political wrangling. I know Branton and county council and Dean and there was a little back and forth there. That's fine. Guess what? Hashtag winning. We got the money. They're going to order an ambulance, and that's the bottom line. Now, I hate to steal Bretton's little tag there, but let's get to work. Brenda, video, please.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence proclaims God-given rights, and we intend to protect them. Working with people like you for over 50 years, preserving freedom and building a better tomorrow. Safeguarding the Constitution by limiting government power. We are restoring liberties, educating voters, and leading the freedom movement. Join with us. United, we will defend our rights. We are all Americans. We are the John Birch Society.
Well, there you go. The John Birch Society, great group, great patriots. They're friends of the show. they wrote a nice little check, made a little donation, helped us do some hardware upgrade and help pay for the software. So again, we're not about the buck, but we're not going to say no either because, I'm not like the mayor of Chicago where I have a $30,000 makeup artist. I don't need one. Mine's on, no, whatever. But anyway, we're going to just kind of, we wanted to start out locally. Now we're just going to go into stuff with some, we would be very callous if we didn't talk about Charlie Kirk and show you some nice, absolutely amazing videos that we saw. So Brenda, would you please?
Holy, holy, are you Lord God Almighty? Worthy is, for you are holy, holy, are you Lord God Almighty? Worthy is, come on, tell them now. For you are holy, holy, are you Lord God Almighty? Worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Lamb, for you are holy. Are you Lord God Almighty? Worthy is the Lamb, for you are holy, holy. Are you Lord? Are you Lord? Come on, lift it up. This is a sound that can shake the nations. Worthy is the Lamb. For you are
Well, Charlie was someone who believed in dialogue and in open debate. He was a man of ideas. He spoke eloquently. He basically never even raised his voice. He was a man of peace. Yeah. And now he's been murdered in cold blood.
Did you know him personally?
Yes, of course. We met many times.
How was he like?
I supported his organization. I spotted a tiny part from yeah, part of there.
Why was he killed?
He was killed because his words made a difference. Because he was showing people the light, and he was killed by the dark.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I mean, I watched that video several times. I mean, I really have. And every time I watch Elon Musk, just absolutely probably one of the most influential men in the world, can buy and sell anything he wants, but was able to just muster enough strength to get through that interview. And what a tough question. Why do you think he was killed? I mean, you could hear it in his voice that things were hard for him to do and how to say it, and because of the dark. And then I saw that, Brenda picked the video, and I said that I totally agree with you. But yeah, and of course, let's just kind of keep rolling with the amount of hate that this country has kind of unfortunately developed into, as we had a shooting at an ICE location, and this isn't the answer. We see this hate locally. There's a lot of things going on Facebook that I've been accused of Shank and his crew of creating havoc for local business people and people being stupid. I'm not doing anything. I don't have a crew. These people give me way too much credit. I have a little podcast out here in Harbor Creek. I have a group of people that come together. We share. Mr. Jim Karate, how you doing, sir? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. Mr. Jim Karate, he's been a longtime friend. Known him a long time. The whole Karate family out here. He is going to be one of our guest speakers at the Charlie Kirk Prayer and Peace Vigil, Saturday, October 4th at 10 a.m. to 1. So, Mr. Karate, I thank you for volunteering. I appreciate that. I know your words will be ever so proper and very well spoken, like you always do, sir. But like I said, this stuff has to stop, and it's so funny how many, and we're going to get to this here on the rhetoric that the left loves to say, oh, we need to tone down, but they're the ones saying that we need to punch him in the face and, in the head. We've talked about it. We've shown the videos. We've shown the videos. And we've shown the videos. It's not us. So let's just go to that news piece it's about 2 minutes long on that ICE shooting. Brenda?
I can confirm at this time that the FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence, to include here in North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado, Texas. What I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature. Again, this is just the most recent example of this type of attack. This will be a whole of government response. There will be no resource not utilized to bring all those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable.
This needs to stop. Violence is wrong. Politically motivated violence is wrong. It was 2 weeks ago today that we saw a political assassination in Utah that tore the heart out of much of this country. This is the third shooting in Texas directed at ICE or CBP. This must stop. To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop. To every politician demanding that ICE agents be doxxed and calling for people to go after their families, stop. This has very real consequences. Look, in America, we disagree. That's fine. That's the democratic process. But your political opponents are not Nazis. We need to learn to work together without demonizing each other, without attacking each other.
You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Well, well, well. JD. Can't wait to 2028, sir, and see what you can really do when you get to spread those wings. And that's my thing. It's so funny to go online and listen to all the, who do you think is going to be the next president? You know, I hear, Marco Rubio and JD, and I think, my personal, I would love to see JD and our illustrious Ron DeSantis out of Florida. You talk about two powerhouse veterans ready to kind of like kick some booty and take care of this. That's my prediction. But hey, it's up to the people. Let's see. Guilty on all charges. That's the tagline.
All right, so Fox News alert in here. We've got the verdict is in. Guilty on all charges. Count one so far, we know guilty unanimously. Paul, get your reaction here as we await more information from the courtroom.
So let's go back to the egg here in the aftermath of the incident. A lot was done right here. I know there were questions about how he got so close to then candidate Trump, but in the wake of what occurred, you had a witness step up who really held up, took a very, very smart look at the car, the plate, had a very good look at Ruth, and then who you're not hearing a lot about in building this case and bringing him into custody is the Martin County Sheriff's Office, who managed to get him pulled over. They did what's called a felony car stop, got him out of the car peaceably, back up in a way that nobody is in danger. They took him into custody, and some of that is on tape. It's on the body cam, it's on the dash cam. They then brought the witness there. They call it a show up. That holds up constitutionally because they didn't bring the accused to the witness, but vice versa, which is the right way to do it. All of these things are things that are going to come up at trial and can be challenged. In this case, it went right from the get-go in the aftermath, and as a result, that narrative that Jonathan Turley is talking about was easy to construct for DOJ. I'm not saying it was simple, but they had a lot to work with. They made a compelling narrative that creates the picture, the storyline in the mind of the jurors, and obviously that was so compelling that in 3 hours they were able to come back guilty, all counts.
Ouch, 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 and ouch.
According to eyewitnesses in the courtroom, Ruth picked up a pen and tried to stab himself in the neck in the middle of the courtroom before 4 U.S. Marshals were able to restrain him.
Well, well, well. And the funny irony to the story is he decided to be his own attorney. Okie dokie. Well, some ultra-liberal whack job attorney will say, oh, I'll defend his appeal for free because he didn't know any better. He didn't know his legal rights, blah, 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 blah. So this is our last video of the show. We running a little later than usual, but that's okay because it's our Wednesday night big show. We when we have special guests, things run a little bit later, but these are important things to talk about. That's why we come here and we do what we do. So Brenda, go and play that last video for us, please.
You know what it's about? It's about violence in America, left-wing violence and political violence in America. Now, a lot of Democrats like to throw up, well, why are you so mad about Charlie Kirk? Were you not also mad about what happened in Minnesota when the speaker there, Hortman, was murdered? I was looking up some information on the Congressional Research Service today. There was actually a resolution passed in the House after Speaker Hortman was tragically murdered. Did you know not a single Republican voted against it? Not one. Now, in the case of Charlie Kirk, 58 Democrats voted against Charlie's resolution. 38 more voted present. 22 didn't vote at all. After the Hortman resolution, Republicans came together to honor Speaker Hortman and to do this. And I'm reading from the resolution. Call on all community leaders and elected officials to publicly and unequivocally denounce acts of political violence. So that happened. Republicans unified around a call for nonviolence. After Charlie's murder, however, Democrats not only abandoned ship on that, they then went out and slandered the man who had been murdered by a clear left-wing radical lunatic. Interestingly, if you dig in to the resolution that was passed after Speaker Hortman was tragically murdered, you will find out that a few people did not vote yes. Some people missed the vote. Do you know who missed the vote? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez could not be bothered to show up to vote to honor Speaker Hortman and to call on our nation to turn against political violence. And of course, in the case of Charlie Kirk, she railed on the House floor, spoke passionately against the Kirk resolution. The United States House has voted twice now in the last few weeks to condemn political violence across the spectrum and across the country. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has not voted yes in either case. Now ask yourself why that might be. Why would it be that the leading left-wing socialist radical in the House can't bring herself to vote yes on resolutions condemning violence?
Scott Jennings, syndicated radio talk show host. He is the voice of reason, believe it or not, on CNN. Believe it or not, he is actually in the bowels of the demon herself on CNN, and you should follow him. Syndicated radio talk show host, good friends with Charlie Kirk. What's been really nice is the late night Charlie Kirk shows have been kind of like still playing. What they do is they have other very good podcasters and news guys fill in. So I think they're just trying to figure out what to do. I mean, how do you replace Charlie Kirk? You can't. They never will happen. But they have these local conservative talk show hosts come in and fill his time spot and talk about stuff. Yeah, she's a nutbag. Well, of course she is. And oh no, please don't run for president, AOC. We don't want you to do that because we're scared because you might beat JD. Don't run. Please don't do that. Ridiculous. So I don't see any other videos on the queue. We had a great show. It was a fun show. I don't mind going a little bit longer. I know you guys don't want to stay up too late. It's a work night. We had a great conversation, great text messages, great controversies. We talked we like to do local stuff and we like to do national stuff. And of course you see up at the top, well, I don't know if it's right hand or left hand on mine, but it's my left hand, Legacy Scape LLC. You know, they are a really good organization, group of people that do landscaping. They're friends of the show, and they asked if we could give them a shout out and throw their ad up there. We're like, we're here to help the little guy out. That's who we are. We're helping the little guy. We're not a conglomerate. We're not a big LLC. We're not a big radio station, but we are still in the running for the top 3 broadcasters in Erie County. That is, can the 9th just get here already, please? Please get here, because I want to see who number 1 is. I'm not holding my breath. However, you never know. It's up to you, the voters. Let me just throw this plug in here really quick. Of course, there's a lot of visuals going on. I say visuals, not visuals. There's a G. Charlie Kirk Prayer and Peace Vigil. There's a G in there. Saturday, October 4th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Perry Square. We will put together a little more detailed information. We got Jake Banta coming. We got Rick McGee. We have some other local folks coming in here to sing. Like we talked about, Mr. Karate will come up and he'll say a few words. He's a very, very good inspirational speaker. We have several other people lined up here to come in here.
Vince Rizzone.
Oh, I was just going to say Vince Rizzone, an old high school friend of mine, Mr. Sherwood. It was so funny. Back in Harbor Creek High School, his he had a sister, and he had two sisters, and I had the hots for the one sister, but everybody was scared to death of Dave Sherwood because he was this big, huge, just monster guy. Played football, and you didn't. No, you didn't come hang around there, but you know what? He's a gentle giant, and we've become friends. And I when we put this project together, I reached out, and he's like, "Well, how much time do I have?" I said, "How much time do you need?" He's like, "I don't know. What do you want me to say?" I said, "You are the man with the words." He goes, "Well, I'll send you. I'll send you I'll send it to you. My notes." And I said, "If you feel that's necessary." He goes, "Well, I just want to make sure they're okay." They will be fine, Dave. Don't worry about it. We're working on some other folks to come in and speak. But I think it'll be a good time. We'll have several pastors, guest speakers, and plenty of security. We have our permits from the city to have Perry Square. So it's not like we're just going to show up if we have any problems. We just dial the local police department, which is literally across the street. And they said they would be over there. I talked to several of the officers. They said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll be in the area, and we've got you covered." So I think this is going to be a big event. I'll bring out the big 20-foot by 30-foot flag to open it up. And I think that's only appropriate. Charlie was a very patriotic guy, and nothing more patriotic than a 20-foot by 30-foot flag on display. We'll have, I need at least 20 to 30 people. Please bring a lawn chair. Please bring your flags. I would love to see, and when I'm up on stage, kind of putting this thing together, I want to look out and just see nothing but red, white, and blue. I mean, just absolutely red, white, and blue flags, because I think that's the way Charlie would like it. Because I am Charlie. Actually, we are Charlie. We've got a couple guest speakers. We're working those details out to come up, and we will make this happen. So on that happy note, we're going to go ahead and bring this thing in for landing, like the late Scott Bremner used to say, the guy I used to listen to a lot and learned a lot from. He used to irritate me. I used to irritate him. And sometimes I would get mad and not listen to him. But then a couple days later, I'd listen to again, and I'd call back up on the show, and we worked it out. But that's what he was supposed to be, because I know he was a Democrat and I was a Republican, and that kind of showed sometimes. But he was a broadcaster. He was on TV a long time. I don't speak ill of the dead. I listened to his show a lot when I was on county council. He used to give me a lot of time, so I can't ding him for that. But that was his favorite little saying at the end of the show. "Well, it's almost time to bring this thing in for a landing." So here we are, bringing it in for a landing, for the just kind of pay a little homage to one of our late broadcasters here in Erie. So Brenda, outro song.
yesterday. Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again.
All right, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming out on this Wednesday night. We greatly appreciate all your love and support. You know, I always say this is the co-op show because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. I'd be sitting here talking to myself. Again, a special thank you to my lovely, lovely wife, Brenda, that helps put all the videos together and makes everything just magic. So I will see you guys Thursday, tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the beer place on Buffalo Road, Erie Discount Beer. As we always say, Shank out. Salute you.